welcome to That Computer Is Your Mom. This is Allie.
And Josh.
And Josh. Okay, so this time we are doing Frame Up, Season 1, Episode 4 of Jim and the Holograms. How did you feel about Frame Up?
I liked this one.
Did you like this one?
Yeah.
Do you like it better than the last one?
Yeah, the last one was a little bit boring, but this one, I really liked the concert promoter. Or what was he? Did he own the casino? Or was he arranging the entertainment? It was unclear what the guy's...
What his role was?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so did you have anything from the last episode that you wanted to talk about?
I don't remember the last episode.
Do you remember you said Twilight in Paris got stuck in your head?
Oh, it kind of did. Even though it's not, I don't know. Who knows how a song gets stuck in your head? It's not.
I would say Twilight in Paris is like...
They keep saying that phrase.
They do. I would say that song as opposed to some of the songs in this episode. The songs in this episode were not that good.
No.
They were no Misfits songs.
Would you say that there are songs in this show that are good, though?
Yeah, I like some of the Misfits songs. We're Making Mischief. Yeah.
Alright, that's a highlight.
That was a good one. I don't know. I really...
Pretty much that one.
I like the visuals.
The visuals are better than the songs themselves.
Right. Okay, so... At the end...
One of the songs in this one, they just, did the theme song of the show and changed a few of the words.
Did. That is what they did. We're gonna get there.
Okay.
Because the visuals on that song were amazing.
Okay.
So at the end of the last episode, which was called Kimber's Rebellion, Jem was basically in a studio with this interview lady. And because Pizzazz pushed Rio, the whole studio was on fire. That's what it appeared.
The whole studio was made of gasoline-soaked balsa wood.
It's true. And as is often the case, it seems like a terrible tragedy, unavoidable tragedy. And they're like, da 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 da, to be continued.
Mm-hmm. And they solve it in the first 2 minutes.
Sometimes less than that.
Yeah.
They, so basically, the fire is not as big as it looked like in any way.
Yeah.
Rio hops on this cherry picker crane thing.
It's like a crane for a camera, right?
It's a camera crane. And then, cranes over the, 2 foot of debris.
Yeah, it's just like a little piece of flaming debris. She could have walked around it, really. Mm-hmm. But
nobody
I guess she was upset or something.
She was clearly upset because she fainted. And so she faints, and Rio grabs her up and takes her in the dressing room. Mm-hmm. And then Aja's we'll finish the interview.
Right. We don't ever find out what they said in the interview, though, do we?
No, the show is not interested in that.
The show is not interested in the other holograms?
Not really, no. It'll, remember that they're there intermittently. So, then what happens? Do you remember?
After the interview is over?
Yeah, Jim's in the dressing room with Rio.
They're making out.
At first she goes, "Oh no, the Misfits, stop!"
Oh, that's right.
She's having some kind of fever delusion.
She has a flashback.
Yeah, but she sort of acts like she's having a fever dream.
Yeah.
And then she comes to...
And then he just sticks his tongue in her mouth.
She totally grabs him.
Oh, does she?
To be fair.
Okay.
In the last episode, he was extremely torn by this.
Yeah, he's just into it.
In this episode, he does not seem to care in any way. Okay, so... then we get to... Also, in the previously ons, they were like, by the way, Ashley stole from the honor jar.
And they say it like, if you hadn't been watching the first 3 episodes, like you just know what an honor jar is. Is that a thing?
Not to me.
No.
I mean, there's a swear jar.
Sure.
But
That's not what it was.
No. Also, like, I don't agree with the idea of the swear jar. You can't just, like, institute swear jars on people. Like, work people. This is the thing that's happened at jobs that I've been at. And they're like, we're all going to do a swear jar. And you have to put money in the swear jar. And I'm like, no, I fucking don't. Because I didn't agree to this.
Oh.
Everyone has to agree to the swear jar. You can't just unilaterally decide everyone's going to participate in a swear jar. That is not the rules of the swear jar.
I don't know that I've been at a workplace where there was enough cursing for it to be an issue.
Well, I'm just saying. You can't make people participate in the swear jar if they don't fucking want to.
Isn't it usually a thing that, like, parents make their kids do?
Is it? I thought it was a thing,
I don't know. I've never been somewhere where it was, like, in effect.
It was like we're gonna stop swearing because we need to, like, clean up for Jesus.
Really?
And I was like,
Oh.
I don't care about that. So you can't make me participate. Thank you.
Fair enough.
Anyway, back to the honor jar. No, let's not go back to the honor jar.
No, because it doesn't actually figure in the episode at all. It's just
Yes.
to set up the fact that Ashley
Is angry.
and we'll get there, I guess.
Yeah, so there's gonna be, I guess we're at the concert promotion part, right?
Yeah, I don't remember how that weird Las Vegas Texan guy shows up.
I think Jerica's in her office, and the maid who suggested the embezzlement
Right.
comes in and is like,
Is she the maid or the cook? Or both?
Maybe she's the, like, housekeeper when they're not there, because
Okay.
certainly someone needs to be in charge.
They're not there very often.
Right. So she comes in and she's like, Ashley, like, is gone a lot. You should talk to her.
Right.
And so
Really encouraging Jerica to take, like, a bare minimum kind of role in overseeing the house that she is ostensibly in charge of.
Right.
Actually, it seems like a pretty good, like, I don't know, representation of how much of a role, like, rich people have in their charitable organizations that they're ostensibly running.
That's probably true. So, Jerica goes to talk to Ashley, right?
Yeah, and she literally, like, gets one sentence out, I think, is like, we should talk, and then somebody comes in, and it's like, there's a concert promoter here to talk to you. And she says, oh, we'll talk about this later.
And Ashley's, like, basically like, fuck you.
Like, we're done here.
And she has a Misfits t-shirt.
Yeah, that she hid under her very frilly pillow.
Yes. She had the, like, my sister had a really frilly bedroom.
Yeah.
When we were growing up. Yeah.
That is the aesthetic at Starlight House? Is it called
Starlight House, I believe.
Yeah, Starlight House.
Okay, so then the promoter guy comes.
The promoter is my favorite character in this show so far.
Is that the mystery woman?
If the mystery woman had more lines, then maybe she would be. But the promoter seems like he's the show producer's idea of what a Texan would be like, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a cowboy hat, and he's kind of like, hey, little ladies.
I believe he says y'all.
Yeah. But he's promoting a show in Las Vegas, and he seems to be in charge of at least the concert, if not the casino where they're playing in Las Vegas.
Right. Okay, so the Texan promoter guy, what happens there?
He tells them that they're going to be like the headlining act at the show in Las Vegas, and they agree to it. And then he says, oh, and the Misfits are opening for you. Ha ha.
What was his, like, little catchphrase?
He says, what was it?
He flips his hat and he goes, I love to see the sparks fly.
That's right. He always flips his hat.
And then he goes and does the same things in the Misfits.
Yeah, he just always does that. He's good at catching his hat.
Yeah, I mean, because I think Kimber says about the Misfits, he's like, they hate us.
Mm-hmm. And he knows.
And he says, I know.
And he laughs.
And you thought that was very funny?
He's very funny.
What about him did you, like, enjoy the most?
Just that he's so, like, unrepentant about being...
Zero fucks given.
Yeah, about hitting the hornet's nest.
Yeah, he's like a sort of proto-TMZ producer.
Do they do that?
I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe I'm slandering TMZ. Who's to say?
I don't think you can do that, but I thought they just, like... I don't know, intruded on people's privacy. I didn't know that they, like, created situations.
I mean, they probably would if they could.
Yeah, maybe so.
Okay, so...
And then that's followed by a scene with the Misfits where he does basically the same thing,
it's
right?
It's true, yeah.
Where they're like, oh, who's the opening act? And he says, the Holograms, ha ha.
And Pizzazz is very mad.
Yeah.
And when she gets mad, she screams.
She makes unpleasant noises.
Yeah, like growling and screaming.
Yeah.
I have the captioning on and it says growls.
It seems like one of the reasons you're supposed to dislike the Misfits is that they make, or Pizzazz makes noises that are unpleasant to listen to. Like grating, sort of growling noises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As someone who, like, makes noises a lot, I feel a little bit like, hey.
Right.
That's not...
Well, all of the problems that... Like, the Misfit... I don't know. I mean, they do try to kill people a lot, but I think we said before, right?
Nobody gets almost killed in this
one. That's a problem with them is that they have, like, bad taste, and they're unpleasant to... Yeah, they're tacky.
They're tacky, yeah. I would say in this episode, no one is almost killed. Right?
At the end. The computer.
Oh, okay.
Who is also a character.
Right, but the Misfits don't almost kill anybody.
No. They try to frame them for robbery, though. They try to get them sent to jail.
They did do that. Okay. All right, well, we'll get there. Okay, so Ashley is, like, hooks up with the Misfits, and they take her to Las Vegas.
Yes.
And then they get her to, trick Aja.
Yeah.
In what way?
She like runs through the hall where Aja can see her, and Aja says, "Oh, what are you doing here, Ashley?" And she follows her, and Ashley goes outside and crawls into the luggage compartment of a bus.
Right, like you do.
Like a commercial bus. And then Aja says, "Oh, come back," and she climbs into the luggage compartment too, because that's what you would do, I guess. But Ashley has crawled out the other side, which is also open, because apparently this is a bus that has doors on both sides of the luggage compartment, which I've never seen, but maybe it's a thing. And then they trap Aja inside the luggage compartment of the bus.
Right.
By closing the doors. That is the Misfits do.
Yeah, Roxy actually closes both sides, which is...
Does she? I didn't notice that.
She did, yeah. I thought...
Is she in both places at once?
They kind of show her running around the side, but you would think Stormer could get out before she could run around the back of the bus, but... Or not Stormer, Aja could. Stormer's on the other side. I thought they were going to have Stormer close the other side.
Maybe they didn't trust her competence, too?
They don't seem to trust Stormer very much.
As this episode later reveals, they are not wrong in that.
Okay, so Aja's trapped in the bus.
Yeah.
And then Pizzazz is like, oh, their friend left. Mm-hmm. So
that means we get to play them as the main act.
Right.
Because that's the rules, apparently.
Yeah, Pizzazz is basically like, here are the rules that I just made up.
There's a lot of that in this show.
Like, hey, rule change. By the way, your friend isn't here, so you can't go on. And then you would think that, because the Misfits are like, we'll go on, and it's like, at the time when I was originally watching this, what I did not know, and I do know now, because I've been to concerts, is the opening act always goes first. And so the Misfits should have gone on anyway, whether or not the Holograms were going to play or not.
That's true.
But that's not what happens. It is sort of set up as a, like, one or the other.
Right.
The promoter guy does not end up enjoying his sparks flying as much as I think he thought he was going to.
No. He seems like he's having a pretty good time until it's revealed that the like money.
The money.
But
we skipped a part where Jem sings her deception song about Rio.
Yeah, when was that? That was near the beginning. That was when she. Because the song was so bad. Song was really
bad.
It was when she wakes up, having fainted from the stress of.
Oh yeah, because the Holograms walk in on her and Rio making out.
That's right.
And he's like, my boner, gotta go. And he like
pretty much he just says that. I mean, he says I've got to check the equipment, but everybody knows what that means.
He means he's gotta go like adjust his bone.
Yeah.
And by which I mean his wiener. He's having wiener problems.
Yeah.
And the other Holograms are like, oh no, what are you gonna do about Rio? They finally like bring it up to her.
Oh yeah, and she says he's very proud.
Yes.
I thought was kind of funny. Although also kind of like maybe stereotyping a little. Is he supposed to be, because isn't he supposed to be like Latin American? She's like, oh, he's so macho.
What's his last name? Do you remember?
I don't know.
He doesn't. I don't know. It's hard to tell what is intended with the show. So it may be that. It may just be like he has like man pride because he's a man.
Maybe so. That's true. The last time we thought that they were being racist, it turned out that the woman was not, in fact, named after a sandwich.
Right.
So, I take it back.
Right. I mean, and the thing, too, is, like, you know, people know about... There are, like, places to eat Vietnamese food now. Mm-hmm. When there, like, kind of weren't then, most places. Like, there were some places...
Wait, are you saying so it would have been okay if she was named after a hoagie?
I just don't... No! That's not what I'm saying. No, I'm just saying that people wouldn't have known.
No, that's true.
So... Oh, I'm all flustered now.
Sorry.
But anyway, so she's basically, this deception song is like it's very poor.
Yeah.
But the gist of the song is like, if I like tell you, then we won't be in love anymore.
Is that the one where Rio is a piñata?
Yes!
That part was pretty funny.
So there's like a part where like Jem and Jerrica have like a hold of his arms and they keep yanking on him, and then he turns black and white and he splits apart, and then like little confetti falls out of him.
Mm-hmm. But then they cut away from it really fast. I don't know if they thought it would be too disturbing an image to linger over or what, but
his like confetti guts.
Yeah, it seems like they could have gone further with that if they'd wanted to.
Well, yeah. There's a lot of that. But at any rate, she's not... It's slightly addressed and then immediately dropped. The, like, idea that she might tell Rio or, like, what his feelings are about this situation. Or that she feels bad about it in any way. Like, they raise the issue, sort of go, shrug shoulders and drop it.
I still don't understand why the identity is secret in the first place.
It's never... I don't think they ever, like... It's just sort of... brought up like a I don't know, like it's just mandated from the start that this thing has to happen, and it's never they never go into why, and then they just sort of go forward with the like, this is what it is, like like in the way that they treat it, like how like it's like James Bond is a secret agent, and they're like, yeah, Jerica has a secret identity, and it's like, but why would she need that? No one ever explains it.
No.
So,
okay, so that was back ways.
okay, so now we're back. Aja's in the bus.
Yeah, she's trapped in the luggage compartment of the bus.
Right. Pizzazz made up new rules about how they're going to forfeit the contract if they don't find Aja. Which she's pretty smug about.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
I think it's Aja escaping from the bus, right?
Yeah.
So somebody on the bus, a woman on the bus, hears Aja like banging on the door and yelling, "Let me out," and help and stuff. And the woman says, "What's that noise?" or something to that effect. And she gets her husband to stop reading his newspaper and talk to her. And he says, maybe it's a flat tire. And then I think even though he has the aisle seat, I think he makes her go and talk to the bus driver. This is not like a big plot point, but it does seem like she's the one who goes and talks to the bus driver, right? So it must mean that she like climbs over him or he gets out. I don't know if he's got like a thing where he doesn't want to talk to strangers, or he's like, you heard it, so you have to be the one to complain about it, or what. But the point is, it would have made more sense for him to be the one who talked to the bus driver, since he has the aisle seat.
And the bus driver, they show this like close up on this dude with this like real trolly looking weirdly drawn face.
Yeah.
And then
for some reason we're not meant to like the bus driver, I think. Because he also gets weirdly angry with Aja when he lets her out.
Yeah. Maybe he thought she was like, I don't know, stowing away.
Stow away, yeah.
You do not want to drive from Las Vegas to New York.
Mm-mm.
Like that. That would be terrible.
With the troll face.
I meant in the luggage compartment.
Oh, no, not in the luggage compartment either.
But yeah, maybe not with the troll face guy either. Who screams at people.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Aja's out of the bus. She like takes off running.
Yeah, he just opens the compartment and she's gone. She does not talk to him.
No.
He doesn't talk to anybody.
She's like a cat trying to get into a bedroom.
Yeah.
That it's not supposed to be in.
Yeah.
She just shoves past him and keeps going. And then what happens? Do you remember?
Let's see. She talks to some tough-looking street guys. Mm-hmm. And she asks them where the casino that they're playing is. Is the casino called the Gold Dust?
Yep.
She asks them where the Gold Dust Casino is, and they can't agree with each other and like start fighting with each other about it. Probably because they're both on PCP. I think that's what we're supposed to assume.
Uh-huh.
And then she keeps going. She like just ignores them and keeps going. And then she runs into this like friendly cowboy guy on a motorcycle, on a huge motorcycle. Mm-hmm. And he says, "Hop on." And you're like, "Don't do it, Aja. You're never gonna be heard from again."
You definitely get a vibe like he's gonna like cut off her skin.
Yeah. But that's not what happens. He just drives her toward the Gold Dust Casino. But then he runs into some sort of huge traffic jam. And I guess, unlike many motorcyclers, he is unwilling to drive between the cars.
Yeah, usually they will.
Oh, yeah. If there's a traffic jam, a lot of the time a guy on a motorcycle would just drive right through. But he won't.
Nope.
He is obeying the rules of the road, although neither he nor Aja is wearing a helmet. So she just gets off and walks the rest of the way in heels.
Mm-hmm. She, like, runs back to the casino.
Yeah.
And then they're able to do the show.
Yeah, she arrives just in the nick of time.
Right. And Pizzazz is angry.
Yeah.
And screams.
And she refuses to be the opening act.
Yes.
Even though that was what they were going to... Well, I guess they never planned on being the opening act. I guess they always planned on...
Screwing it up somehow.
Yeah.
And then they... I think there's... I'm not sure about the order of this, but they do a song.
Gem and the Holograms do.
Yeah, it's not important, and I don't remember anything about it. And then Pizzazz...
Oh, it's that, like, Living on the Edge or whatever song.
Oh, right.
Sort of only vaguely topical. Most of them are very topical.
Yeah, I don't... it didn't seem like very important. It seemed like it was a lot of, like, running after transportation.
Yeah. Is that bit where their car is a roadster? Mm-hmm. Their roadster is driving on a very narrow, like, mountain road. And then one of the tires explodes.
Yeah, I missed that part because I was eating cheesecake.
Oh. Well, that happened.
And then Pizzazz goes back, storms, like, back to the dressing room, and Eric Raymond calls.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I've got it covered with my nefarious plan.
Which means Zipper again. Like, why you would think Zipper is going to work this time when he didn't the last 3 times. It's unclear.
So, and he's like, there's going to be a commotion, and they're going to search everybody's room and make sure they search Jim's room.
Right.
And Ashley hears this and runs away.
Right.
And Stormer runs after her.
Mm-hmm.
And they, like, hide.
They hide behind a Gem and the Holograms, like, cardboard cutout thing, right?
Right. And then what happens?
And they listen to the Misfits talking. Is that right?
And then, I think then Zipper comes with those.
Oh, that's right. Zipper comes with 2 other, like, tough guys. And they explain their plan, which is to rob. They do explain the plan, right? Which is to rob the casino and take the money and plant it in Jem's room.
Which they do.
Yeah. But first they put on their masks, because they've all got, like, balaclavas. They all put them on, and then they go and they put explosives in the safe and blow a hole in it. And they must have gotten the amount of explosives right to a very precise degree, because they blow a hole in the safe, but the money is okay.
Yeah, and this is done very quickly.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, some things that could take a lot of time are just like, nope, they just did it real quick. Don't worry about it.
And then some things drag on forever.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was saying earlier, like, the whole Las Vegas episode, that could be the whole 22-minute episode, if they, like, very easily could be the whole thing if they wanted it to. But for some reason they don't want it to. They want it to be like 2/3 that and 1/3 other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like got a very sort of soap, like, kind of structure to it. In that they, like, definitely want to start a new thing to make sure that you keep watching.
It's not an Aristotelian writing these episodes.
Nope. Just Christy Marks so far.
Oh, yeah. Is she the writer for all of them?
So far, it's just been Christy. And, okay, so, and Zipper's jacket says Zipper.
That's a good point. He puts the face mask on, but his jacket still says Zipper.
It does. But...
Also, they take the masks off instantly after leaving the room where they steal the money from.
Mm-hmm. And then they go into Jem's room, which is immediately adjacent.
Yeah, and they put the money in a bag that says Gem on it.
Right, so everyone will know.
Yeah.
So I would say, as far as, like, Zipper plans go, This one, he actually
Yeah, he didn't do anything bad.
Yeah.
He didn't mess anything up.
He didn't actually mess it up this time. So,
I mean...
it could be done better.
Yeah. I mean, if the people hadn't been tipped off when he put the bomb underneath the couch cushion... It wasn't his fault exactly. I mean, thinking that putting it under the couch cushion was going to conceal it in some way was sort of his fault and kind of sad.
He's not...
Poor Zipper.
He's like, he's working with what he has.
Yeah, just not much.
So Stormer and Ashley see this.
Yes, and hear it.
Right. And then, like, the detectives come, blah, 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 and they're going to search everybody's room. And that, like, sort of bit of business takes probably longer than it should. And Pizzazz comes out and is like, search their rooms! And she's, like, very forceful about it, and no one thinks that's weird.
Well, the detective says, we're going to search all the rooms. Like, he's saying, I'm not going to be influenced by your... But then they do search Jem's room. So.
Like, first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they put handcuffs on Jem.
They do.
When they find the money in her bag.
Just her.
Yeah, and there's like a little glamour ting kind of like
Oh, on the handcuffs?
On the handcuffs.
Later there's one on
sparkle.
her lip too, isn't there?
Yes.
I don't know if she's wearing really reflective lip gloss or what.
She might be. That was very much the thing.
There's another moment I really like when they like lead her out in handcuffs and Rio is just kind of like lounging against the wall and they're like walking him up too. I kind of liked that.
I was gonna say, like, the very, very shiny lip gloss, of which I, definitely wore my share of. Like, everyone who wears the shiny lip gloss on TV, like, no one ever gets it, like, in their hair, or, like...
Their hair.
Well, yeah, because if your hair blows and it gets on your lip, like the lip gloss gets all in your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gross. It's just like, and then you end up with like that, and it's all over the place. I don't know.
They don't want to show that. They want to sell some lip gloss.
I know, but it looks so great and shiny and like sparkly with the glitter, and then like I feel like a real tool when I'm like, oh god, it's going everywhere, and it's like all in my hair, and you just never see that part. And
you've got to spray on the lip gloss preserver.
Well, that is a thing now. It didn't used to be.
Wait, is it? I was just making that up.
No, there's like a makeup setter. That's like hairspray.
You can put that on your lips too.
Sure.
Whoa.
That wasn't a thing then.
I didn't think it was a thing for real. I was just saying that.
I don't know if it works on gloss, but it works on everything else. Yeah, I have it in dewy finish.
What does that mean?
I think it means that it's like, it's a little, like, shiny, a little bit, dewy.
Not like from the Dewey collection.
Not from the Dewey Decimal System.
No. Either the philosopher or the nephew of Uncle Scrooge?
No.
Okay.
None of those things.
Okay.
Just washing himself. And he looks like a real weirdo.
Yeah.
He's not interested in Jem.
He's a cat.
He is a cat. Okay, so they find all the money, and then Ashley comes forward.
Yeah.
And what happens?
She says that she overheard them talking about how they were going to set up Jem and the holograms. Mm-hmm. But the police don't necessarily believe her because, as one of the misfits says, she's young.
Mm-hmm. And
they say
she
she's
lives
12.
With them.
She says she's 14.
13. And that she lives with them.
And she lives with them, which is a pretty good point.
And then what happens?
And then the mystery woman shows up, and she has She has a scarf or something over most of her face except for one eye.
Yep.
And she's clearly altering her voice, which sounds pretty weird.
Just like head to toe covered with like a huge hat.
Oh, yeah, and she's got a giant hat.
Yeah.
And she says that she, too, has information for the detective.
It kind of sounds like this. She's like, I, too, saw the misfits setting up Gem. And I will tell you about it in secret.
Yeah, she wants a private conference with the detective. And he gives it to her, and he's not like, no, let's just arrest everyone because this is stupid.
And he's like, come with me into the room, Ashley and Mystery Woman.
Yeah, he just addresses her very respectfully as Mystery Woman.
And spoiler, who is the Mystery Woman?
The Mystery Woman, it's unclear whether we are supposed to know immediately that it's Stormer, which is who it is, or if when like they reveal it in the show, we're supposed to be surprised. I assume we're supposed to figure it out pretty quickly, but maybe we're supposed to like feel good about our detecting prowess. And so they don't show it right away. I don't know, what do you think?
I don't know. It's I think it might be supposed to be a surprise. Do you remember?
Who else could it be though?
But do you remember when we thought when we made Annabelle think she could magically make money appear?
That's true. But don't you think she was kind of playing along?
Not really.
Oh. Okay, well.
I think that she's like 8. She believes in magic things.
Okay.
You know, I mean, not that she's stupid, but just that she's 8 years old.
That's true.
You know.
Well, it's Stormer at any rate.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe if you were paying like really close attention and you were that young, you would be like, maybe it's Stormer.
Right.
But she is a misfit.
That's true.
So.
She is a misfit.
She told Ashley that Pizzazz scared her too.
Right. Well, Pizzazz is kind of scary.
Okay, so for me, that was the most amazing part when Stormer like gets head to toe in scarlet like weird mummy wraps and wraps her face and the whole thing, and she like really looks like she came out of like Grey Gardens.
She looks to me like you remember Carmen Sandiego?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like her trying to like sneak through somewhere.
I mean, it kind of looks like Carmen Sandiego went to Grey Gardens.
Yeah.
And was just like, I found this like by way of Gone with the Wind, like made her curtains into a shawl. 'Cause it's like not clear where Stormer got this like whole get up.
You know, she paxed it when she was planning to travel.
In case she needs to be stealthy.
You've got your Mystery Woman bodysuit just in case.
She's got all the way like long gloves.
Yeah.
Like opera gloves.
Do you think her unique hands were going to be the thing that gave her away?
I don't know. I mean, I bet I could recognize your hands.
Yeah?
Oh, I think so.
If that was the only feature that was revealed, and I was talking like, I know who did it.
I would know it was you. I would definitely know it was you.
Right.
I wouldn't tell though.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, no, he's doing this for a reason.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go with it and see where it goes. That's what I would do.
Well, I think the other misfits are also not very perceptive.
They seem like very sort of self-focused.
I think that's what we're meant to understand.
Mm-hmm. And Roxy can't read, so.
Oh.
She's like, that's why she's mean.
We haven't been told that, though.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm like waiting to see.
Is that like a very special episode?
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting.
Is there a bit at the end where they're like, illiteracy is a serious issue and this is, for more information, you can... call this number or something?
If you can read it. I don't remember that part.
Oh, okay.
I remember them treating it like pretty shallowly, and people, it is Jim and the Holograms, but like people not knowing how to read. I remember it was like sort of a really popular plot in the 80s, where like one character that you've known for a long time suddenly is like, and I never learned how to read. So maybe there was like I don't know, maybe there was like a literacy push at that point or something.
Mm-hmm.
Along with the, say no to drug stuff.
Right.
Okay.
And the Satanic Panic.
It
was that a little later?
I think that was a little bit later than this. It was an interesting time.
Yeah.
So, so they let them go.
They don't arrest the misfits or anything, though.
No, they just always kind of like are like, I'm mad, and they just leave.
Mm-hmm.
Concert promoter, not as amused with the sparks that he got to fly at this point.
No, I kind of would have liked to see a little denouement with him, but he just kind of faded out.
Yeah. All right, so what's the next thing that happens?
So then a new, completely unrelated plot starts, right?
Yes.
I think they go to, like, Eric Raymond and the Misfits sort of post-gaming this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And saying, our Zipper-related efforts have failed comprehensively so far. I mean, he doesn't single out Zipper, but clearly that's what he means.
Right.
And he says, so what if we figured out what Jem's real identity was?
And then he alerts us to something we had not previously known, which is that Pizzazz's real name is Phyllis.
Right.
And she is not happy.
She doesn't want to be called Phyllis.
No, I can relate to that.
You do hate being called Phyllis?
I do not want to be called Phyllis.
Yeah.
So, what is his plan for that?
He introduces a detective named Malone.
Mm-hmm.
He says Malone is going to figure out what her actual name and identity is.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I mean, I guess he's right that she doesn't want her identity revealed, but it just kind of hammers home the point that it's totally unclear to us as the audience why it matters that she has a secret. I mean, will it somehow invalidate her quest to be the winner of the contest if she is also Jerica, who's the one who's going to, like, gain from it in the company?
But they, like...
And if that's the case, then isn't she kind of doing something, like, underhanded?
But they don't ever drop it. Like, it's not like, oh, well, we won the contest, so the utility of that is now past.
Oh, really?
Of her being Jem.
But once they win the Battle of the Bands, aren't they gonna, like, get the ownership of the record label?
I don't think it works out that way. I don't remember. They get the house and the movie deal.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Mm-hmm. Like, next episode, I think, is the Battle of the Bands.
Okay. The pacing of the show is so weird.
So, Malone is going to follow them because he's a private investigator.
Malone has a very form-fitting trench coat.
He has a very kind of, like, I don't know, like, do you think he's supposed to be, like someone watched, like, or, like, looked up, like, detective from, like, an old noir and was like, yeah. That's what we want.
Yeah. That is what every detective and or reporter looks like in a cartoon, I think, though.
Well, yeah. You want to give them...
Also in telenovelas, I think.
You want to be able to say visually, this guy is a reporter, so you give him that big hat with the press pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's also a fashion show.
Yeah, run by our old friend, the Countess, whatever her name is.
The Countess blah blah blah, who's French, and then there is the one song that I did enjoy because the visuals were amazing.
What was that?
It's the one where they reworked the theme song.
Oh, yeah.
And it looked like she was being propelled by rainbow farts.
It did look like she was being propelled by rainbow farts.
There was a lot of rainbows.
Yeah.
And a lot of her just flying through the air with rainbows
Kind of coming out of her butt.
trailing along behind her. And she's like dressed as a princess at one point. Even with the
Several points.
with the cone hat with the veil coming down.
Yeah.
And then like she kisses a bird and it turns into Rio.
Yeah, what's that mean?
I think that the thing that is well, I mean, what they've done with Gem, that I don't think that Gem the show, that they haven't really, at least at that time, had not really done very many other places, is that like Rio is the girlfriend. Like his status is the normal girlfriend status, and that he's not important.
No, and he's really stupid.
And he's not very smart. And there is some, like, deceiving of him going on. And
He does save her once in a while.
he does save her once in a while. So in that way, it is very normative. But as far as, like, the story structure goes, Rio is kind of an impediment a lot of times to be gotten around.
Yeah.
So...
Although, only because she insists on deceiving him. Which, again, doesn't seem like it serves any great purpose for her.
No, but I think that someone had in their head, like, a sort of story structure.
Mm-hmm.
And they just sort of slotted her into the, like, boy role and then him into the girl role. Not that you would want that to be, like, the way that you did your relationship. That would be bad.
That's a good point.
But, yeah, at any rate, so... I don't know. Was there anything else you wanted to say about that song? No. I just wanted to make sure we mentioned the fart rainbows.
Yeah. That was
because
the most notable part of it.
It happens multiple times.
Yeah. There's just a lot of rainbows in that song.
Yeah. And then, I noticed they're reusing outfits a lot, but I liked all the outfits, so, like, whatever. Like, the outfits that Jem is wearing in the song, the fantasy song part, are, like, way better than the Countess Blah's, like, actual outfits that she's supposedly designed for them. And then the Misfits are there for no reason, as per usual.
Well, they followed her. They're just in the audience.
Yeah, but, like, why are they... I don't think... Did they say that they followed her?
Well, they say that they've come and they're gonna, like... help Malone's efforts, even though Eric didn't ask them to or anything. Like, it's clearly just out of spite, basically.
They have a habit of just being, like, of sort of magically appearing wherever Jem is and being like, hello, we're here to fuck up your day.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a sort of public event, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, although they're like in the balcony and nobody else is around, so they do kind of have magical powers.
Right, and the light technicians are not there.
Yeah, they're just standing there next to the spotlight. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the spotlight, like, really needs someone to control it.
Yeah, it's either a spotlight or it's like a light rig. At any rate, they shouldn't be able to just yank it around and move it.
No.
But they do.
And you know whereof you speak.
Yes, that was what I did in school. But yeah, so they take a light and they turn it on the sprinkler, I guess, sensor.
Yeah, because the heat is going to make the sensor trigger the sensor and make the sprinklers come on.
Which it does.
Yeah, it's not a bad plan.
Yeah, and then there's like...
And worthy of someone other than Zipper.
Pizzazz's plans are usually more, like, direct and quite a bit more violent than Zipper's plans. Usually, not always. Like, the gargoyle thing was pretty violent, but generally Pizzazz is much more like, I'm going to, like, punch you. They showed in the previously on that she had, like, slapped that, like, interview lady in the face.
Oh, yeah.
Or just like, Jesus Christ, Pizzazz.
She's got poor impulse control.
Like, very much.
This one is kind of almost more in good fun, really, because it's just like, oh, like she soaks them.
Yeah, she does. And they scream and run away.
Yeah, they act like they're under attack.
Like that there's acid in the sprinklers, but it's just water.
I guess they probably got their hair fixed up and everything.
And the Misfits actually do help Malone.
Yeah, wait, why?
Because they have to change their clothes, so they go back to the secret hideout and clothes closet.
Oh, right. Yeah. Kind of unwittingly, but they do.
Yeah. And Malone sees them drive into the
drive-in movie theater hideout with the fake wall. Right.
And we see Synergy again for the first time since the first episode.
Is that right?
I think so.
Oh.
And then what happens?
Then...
Oh, well, before that, there's a very long sequence of everyone putting on makeup and changing clothes.
Oh.
And putting on accessories.
Right. Well, that is the important part.
Yes.
And then they leave again.
Mm-hmm.
And then Malone sneaks in to the hideout, or whatever you call it.
He pops fully out of a bush that seems like it's way too small for him.
Yeah, he just leaps out of the bush.
And you're like, damn, dude.
And then he goes through the wall, which is not a real wall, but concealed by a hologram. And then an intruder alarm starts going off. And his reaction is to totally freak out and pick up a chair and start smashing machinery.
Yep. And that's when we get the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like, to be continued.
Yeah, because it seems like Synergy has been more or less completely destroyed. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's actually what's happened.
It's true.
Because I don't think Jim would be able to put that computer back together.
Nope.
No. Not trying to slight her, but...
Well, it looked like I don't know if Jim's dad would be able to put it back together. Like, it looked like pretty smashed.
Right. But I mean, he knew how to make it in the first place. Jim has shown no indication of being into the computer as how do you program it?
Right. How do you think they're gonna get, okay, so prediction time. Predict how they get out of the cliffhanger.
Well, I mean, all of their problems are solved by holograms, so I'm gonna guess that it was actually a hologram that he destroyed.
I think that is what happens.
Right?
Yeah.
Although, I mean, really, you can't have a hologram of him, like, feeling like he hit something solid.
That's true.
Right? Like, I mean, I guess it could have been
maybe that's why
just a pile of machinery that was not the computer. Or something.
Maybe that's why he keeps swinging.
Maybe.
And Malone, he's never going to be the same.
No.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 5 stars in outrageousness, what would you give this episode?
I would give it a 4. It was pretty outrageous.
What did you think were the outrageous parts?
The mystery woman. The show promoter.
Uh-huh.
Malone.
Uh-huh.
Those are the highlights for me.
I'm going to give it 3.
Okay.
I think that there wasn't even, like, very much hologramming.
No, hardly any.
Nobody almost died.
Wow.
but the Mystery Woman bit I really enjoyed because it's so like Looney Tunes when it happens that I think I was just like, what is this? So I enjoyed that a lot.
It's probably a more fair rating.
Was there anything else you wanted to say about the episode?
I don't think so.
We should do like a Rio rating. Like, I don't know, just like I'll have to think about that one, but
Okay.
I'm like because Rio's just sort of like dopiness and like Rio, like a Rio dopiness scale.
It's not the dopiest he's ever been, but
So you rate Rio on 1 to a 5 on dopiness.
I'll say 3.
Yeah.
Pretty dopey. Not excessively dopey.
I mean, it seems like extra dopey when you're like compared with the last episode when he was like super broken up.
Oh, that's true.
About Jerica. And one thing about the last episode that I forgot to say was he has a signed photo of Jerica that she signed Jerica with a heart that he like drops because Jim is like creeping on him. And he looks like he's about to cry because she put her hoo-ha spell on him.
Oh.
And in this episode, he's just kind of like, I saved you with this crane, but you really could have saved yourself. And then, like, he has to check his wiener. And he's just kind of, like, chilling. Like, he's not in the episode very much.
No, not very much. Except in the video parts. The music parts.
It's always, like... Sometimes I think that they forget about Rio until it's time for, like, Jem to, like, kiss someone in a video.
Yeah.
Because it certainly is a show that passes the Bechdel test because there's, like, all the dudes are, like, evil or like, non-existent.
In a sense, it's like the audience is, like, 8-year-olds, right? And so what are they gonna imagine... like a boyfriend and girlfriend are saying to each other? Like there's just not enough material for them to interact. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are they going to talk about?
I don't like what would 8-year-old me think that like that's boyfriends and girlfriends would talk about?
It's just like being boyfriends and girlfriends basically.
It's true. Yeah, that, like, you just talk about, like, how your boyfriend and girlfriend.
Really, they're easier to, like, deal with as plot points when they're not around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's always this sort of, like... There's an episode that I remember happening where Jerica turns herself into a third person.
What's her name?
I don't remember,
Oh, okay.
But then the third person also hits on Rio.
She just can't help herself.
I'm just like, Jesus Christ, Jerica. This is like, it's like, what kind of kinky shit is this? Like, get your shit together. You gotta, like, talk to the dude about this. And it's like, he is, like, so sad. Like, sadder than ever. And her response to that is like, I knew he really liked me. It's just like... You weirdo.
She is really just as bad as the Misfits. She's just got better impulse control. And not even that much better.
No, not really. Okay, so would you want to say anything else about the episode?
Nope.
Yeah, you did mention we still don't know that Synergy is Jem's mom.
I guess that's still coming.
I assume that's...
You don't think that's something he just made up?
I don't think so, but it's totally possible. If it is, I want to give myself, like, total props for making that up, because It's super fucking crazy. And I've been convinced of it for like years.
If it's not the case, should we change the name of the podcast?
In no way am I going to change the name of the podcast.
Okay.
Okay, so
I think
that does it.
Okay.
So that's been That Computer Is Your Mom. And we'll see you again for the Battle of the Bands. See you soon.